this book is just a continuous guide to help your efforts and make a personal connection, to make a cultural connection, to make a psychological connection, and just be informed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I approach it, a lot of times people approach things as being a know-it-all. I'm not a know-it-all. I'm a know-enough. You know what I'm saying? And when you know enough, you can maintain and you can scale. But only a fool knows everything. You dig?
Maybach music.
It's the big boss, Rick Ross. Right now you rocking with the hottest DJ in the game. Let's go.
What up, what up? It's your boy DJ Bugsy, Door for Hip Hop Podcast, episode 119. It's good to be back on the Mickety mic. Shout out to my man E on the audio, my man Scoot on the visuals. I got a very special guest, man. It's his third time. You know, third time's a charm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Thanks, man. Am I the only third time guest?
No.
Never mind.
But he is the owner of IndependentDope.com. He is the author of What the Fuck is Human Base. I want to welcome to the show my man Josiah DonMartin.
That's a fact. Josiah DonMartin, a.k.a. Super Jones. Chicken soup, make them sick. Soup kitchen. I give out a lot of game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you crazy,
make them sick, call them chicken soup.
Yeah, you are. But, man, first I want to go back to the beginning, because before we get into this book, I think we didn't get an opportunity to talk about your humble beginnings from previous episodes.
Okay.
So let's go back to the beginning when you felt like you had what it takes to be an entrepreneur and be an author.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good
way to start.
Yeah, that's a good way to start. Long story long, I don't want to get too far back. I've had like 30 jobs in my life.
Okay.
Maybe like 28 to be technical.
Okay.
But I never had a job even for like a full year.
Okay.
And I think I had one full-time job in my life.
Okay.
But I don't do anything illegal.
Okay.
You dig? A lot of times people like to leave that open to kind of like fake it. But I let it be known, like, no, like, it takes aptitude to do what I do.
Right.
It takes real aptitude. So just being young and knowing that these jobs weren't working for me.
Right.
Although I did go to college. And I went to Cheney. I'm a Cheney graduate. First HBCU, 1837.
We're going to talk about that.
You know what I'm saying? I went to the Art Institute of Philly for fashion marketing briefly.
Okay.
Went to Morgan State.
Okay. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I finally graduated from Cheney. Then I went to Eastern for my MBA. When I graduated, couldn't find a job to save my life.
Okay.
You did.
Right.
I'm like, dang, I got the degrees. I'm wearing a suit.
Right.
I'm not cutting my braids. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
But I just wasn't able to find something that worked. Right. And every time I thought I was supposed to have a job, I was given a life raft. The universe gave me a life raft, so I would get an opportunity that would keep me afloat. So every time I thought I should go to like get something traditional, otherwise. So I worked in music. I managed the artists for years.
Right.
That came and went.
Right.
Then I got into the film. But all the time I was still doing low-level consulting on the side and just other odd things to just keep it afloat. 2016, I started Independent Dope.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And it took off immediately? When did it take off?
I started Independent Dope. Honestly, I started Independent Dope to help promote a song for an artist I had.
Okay.
Because, when you send it from your own email, it like nobody cares. But you send it from something else, it's like, oh, I'm gonna have a fake blog, but I'm sending it my artist.
Right, yeah.
So my artist did a song with Ransom, and I started Independent Dope. I started the socials in August. It became profitable in November, meaning I made $1. Because when you're online, there's no overhead.
Right.
So as soon as I had one girl go viral. She had like a Young and Made this.
Okay.
I'm unbiased.
Right.
But it took off.
Okay.
After that, it was lit. But it wasn't just a numbers thing. It was the approach. Because when I had 6,000 followers, I was still getting, 50, 60 customers a week. So it became, I need promo to, I need consulting, I need strategy, I need help with my brand. Okay. And that's how I made it bubble. So that was 2016, 2017, and 18, 19 to 2024. Facebook has like 1.3 million. And the IG took off later, but it's over 100,000. Yeah. But it's still very known, very active. Independent Dope, man. That's one. That's the only time I'm gonna say I got. I handle some dope. You dig? And then working with traditional businesses, you really can't approach them and say, "Oh, my business is called Independent Dope."
Right.
So that's when I transitioned into Run the Views.
Okay.
So that was more so my entity to work with traditional businesses. So
That's where the run reviews thing started.
right. So
Okay.
on a day to day, I have other, I work
Customers.
with nonprofits. I have a cybersecurity company. I done medical professionals.
Right.
So all sorts of different professions.
Yeah.
Because I'm honestly speaking, hip hop it's a chaotic industry.
Right. We seeing it every day now.
Yeah, people,
Backdooring. And,
right? They'll post a Marys and then you have to chase them for $5.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or
And that's how I feel about, even though my podcast is I Do It For Hip Hop podcast, I don't want it to be stuck in a bubble of just hip hop.
Right. It's
and
rooted,
that's why you're on here.
Yeah, it's rooted in hip hop.
Right.
But it's not confined to hip hop.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because I seen you had Montez Parker, who was a
Right.
client of mine as well.
Right.
He was on here. We all come from hip hop.
Right.
You dig? So it makes sense, but we're not confined to that, and we don't have to be.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So there's that.
Now I want to go back to Cheney because I went to Lincoln.
Okay, yeah. 1837, first HBCU. That's a fact. Yeah. Shout out to Truth Hall. Shout out to my.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lincoln
Shout out
and
my guy
Cheney gonna
Keith.
always go back and forth with that.
Yeah.
Because we say 1854
Yeah,
and
that's-
y'all say 1837.
That's
but I
almost
don't.
20 years later. It's almost 20 years later. That's crazy. I think sometimes they get caught in the semantics of what was given the title university. That's
Right.
like saying,
Because we was called the Ashman Institute first
Okay.
before we was called Lincoln.
yeah, I wasn't aware of that, but it's like, let's say somebody says they have the first church because they called it church, but there was a temple of worship that discussed the same things 100 years prior. It's like, they're first.
Right.
We know Cheney's first. Let's keep it 100.
No, I'm
You
not
know what I'm
gonna
saying?
keep it 100.
The endowment may not be like, they're not as popular as
I'm
Lincoln,
not
but
keeping it 100.
you know,
I'm keeping it 50
yeah.
cent. Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I get you,
Cheney
bro.
is like,
I'm never going to admit to
Cheney
that.
is like Kendrick and y'all like Drake. Cheney's Death Row, y'all Bad Boy, man. It's like,
Yeah, you
shout out
crazy
to-
as
shout out
shit,
to
boy.
Bad Boy.
So outside of Cheney and just your educational experience, what made you get into the marketing game? Because we look at people like a Steve Stout.
Yeah.
I feel like Steve Jobs is one of the best marketing geniuses of all time.
Steve Stout?
No, Steve Jobs.
Oh, Steve Jobs, okay.
That did Apple. But
Okay.
I
Yeah.
want you to tell me what transitioned you from
Okay.
doing Play Lot of Studios with the movies and the independent game and the Prey and all that
Yeah.
to
Yeah, to
where
I'm
you
doing
at now.
Well, yeah, I actually,
what made you
I've always
pivot?
done marketing. So it's not a pivot. It's just what you see on the forefront now. So like I've been doing marketing since I was a teenager. You know what I'm saying? I always tell people I was doing it before we knew what it was. So like I'm working with my man Z Rich, my man Temp. We, my brother Elijah DonMartin.
Right.
We all have like we worked. When Smack DVD was hot and all that type of
Yeah,
stuff.
right.
So everybody had their own CDs out. My man Ryan was rapping. I helped put Brett up for his tape. I'm helping push it.
Right.
My man Randell had a company and he was doing music, a lot of concerts venues. And I'm
Okay.
a teenager,
Okay.
and I'm part of his street team. And it's the first time I was getting real money working with somebody because before it was for free.
Right.
But I didn't realize what I was doing and all the information I'm gaining was essentially advertising, was essentially marketing. So by the time that I realized what it was,
Right.
I'm like, oh, I've been doing this. You know what I'm saying? I've now I just didn't know it. You dig? So it's like I've been doing martial arts. They just never gave me the black belt. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so I already
Right.
been in. So it wasn't
Yeah.
really a transition, which is why, God bless you, had the success it had.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't work with any agencies or anything. It was all for me. You know what I'm saying? 4 million views now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, so it wasn't really a transition. It always was it always was here. It's just sometimes, it's certain things are in the forefront. And like I said, I had an artist for years. World Star,
Right.
YouTube, success, Twitter. Like
Right.
we ran through social media crazy, and it gave him a platform. You know
Okay,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
Okay. Can you explain to the people about? I want you to talk about the Uber thing because you broke down on
Okay.
on that first.
Okay.
But how that intertwines with the hip hop world when it pertains to artists, because like I told you over the phone, I feel like Cardi B is a marketing genius without being a marketing genius. Like she just knows how to make something sell so easily.
yeah, I think a lot of times we and I'm not speaking on Cardi B, but I have like I think sometimes we use the term marketing genius too loosely. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I think people a lot of times strike gold with their advertising effort. But I would say marketing genius. I would give 50 that.
Okay.
Because I feel like he really understands the science and the information behind the scenes before it's even presented. Because I tell people all the time, there's a difference between marketing and advertising. You know what I'm saying? Advertising is a part of marketing, but marketing is not automatically advertising. Marketing is the information. It's the information. It's the science. It's all the research behind the scenes, and then advertising is like the focused communication. You know what I'm saying? So like marketing is the sewing shops, and advertising is the runway. You dig? So
I like that.
But I do think Cardi does a good job.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Clearly she, she's in touch with her
demographic.
Exactly. So with my book, What the F is Human Based, human-based marketing is based on personal connection, cultural connection, and generational insights. So somebody like Cardi, she understands the generations that she relates to. So we know Gen Z, which is like 97 to 2012.
Right.
They like the short form content. They're what we would call kind of soft, but they're really socially aware. They care about feelings and what's sustainable and the environment. We don't care about global warming.
No.
I don't care.
No.
We don't care.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm 36. I don't care. I like it when it's hot in December.
Yeah.
You dig? I'll worry about that later.
Right. Absolutely.
Our generation, we're like millennials or Gen X, we tend to, we respond more to influencer. We like what we call peer reviews and stuff like that, and we're more more likely to be able to watch longer format content because we come from an era where you sit and you watch commercials and you can't skip them.
Right.
So we know how to be bored. You know what I'm saying? So the advertising efforts are different. Whereas some of these new generations, they're tablet kids. They skip the ads. Everywhere they go, they have tablets in their hand.
Yeah, my son complains about ads all the time.
Exactly, my son too.
He want me to get YouTube Premiere instead of regular YouTube.
Yeah, I think I'm the only fool that pays for YouTube. Yeah, oh, YouTube. Shout out to Scooter behind the can. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit, I don't got that.
But it's like
shout out to y'all.
We got to learn how to be bored again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I just went through that with my son today because he had a doctor's appointment. And he was doing something to distract his time. And I'm like, you can't be doing that because that's not your age. You're acting like a toddler.
Yeah.
Sit your ass the fuck down and wait till they call your fucking name, bro.
And that's the importance of dads. That's the importance of dads.
Yeah.
Bro, you wildin'.
Right.
I tell my son just turned 14, and my son's a big guy.
Right.
You know, he's 6 foot,
right.
215.
Yeah.
So people think he's older. You know what I'm saying?
He's 14.
And I be telling, exactly, but I be telling because people are going to think you're older, you deserve to be treated within your age range, but the world don't know that. So you got to carry yourself even more.
Right.
And just being a black man, I be telling them like, yo, it's serious. We got to maintain that it's serious being a black man. We the boogeyman. Exact to them. And that's their burden, but we got to know how to maneuver around it. But I take being a black man serious. You dig?
I do too.
And I be trying to tell him like, yo, bro, it's real out here. So carry yourself a certain way, be able to, stand still and just handle your BI. But back to what you said about the Uber,
yeah, I want you to touch.
People get so mad at me on this clip. It says did Uber change the game, and it's like Uber didn't. Traditionally, when you order a cab,
right,
they come when they come.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't really know.
Right.
Like we ordered a cab 45 minutes ago.
Right.
Shows up when it shows up.
Right.
But Uber, you can see the route that it's taken. You can see it coming. So even if it's delayed,
you can see.
Exactly.
Even if they went to the bathroom, even if they stopped at Wawa, you can see.
And just having that visual of what's going on, it calms people down so much. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's a longer wait, you can handle it better because you can anticipate it. You know what I'm saying? And people curse me out. They're like, oh, every city doesn't have Uber and it doesn't take that long to Uber. I'm like, bro, nothing applies to everybody except death and making waste. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's never going to apply to 7 billion people. But in observable reality, in mass, it typically relates. You dig? So I'm like, but yeah, they curse me out on TikTok. I post the same clips all the time, and they curse me out every time. Or my other one, when I'm talking about how we're typically attracted to impractical things, they're like, oh, he has gold chains on and a watch. I'm like, I never said don't buy it. I just said as humans, we're typically attracted
to symbolism.
Exactly, and what we feel like is disposable income. If you have something expensive, but we feel like, oh, that's for work, it doesn't attract people the same.
Just like the Jesus piece is going to always be a symbolization of hip hop, no matter what. Yeah, because everybody wore it.
Yeah, I would never wear it. And
Me
if he
either.
did, he can't be like Anglo.
Right.
You dig? But that's a fact. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's like,
Or a bust down.
yeah. Now, let me tell you something, man. But people, every time somebody shows a bust down, the comment section becomes watch experts and financial experts. Oh, that's worth nothing. Let me tell y'all something about a bust down watch. You can switch the band.
Right.
You can buy a Rollie and switch the band and drill the new band.
Yep.
And secondly, just because I buy a watch and do custom, maybe I didn't want to sell it.
Right.
I bought it to have fun.
Yep.
But people act like every dollar you're supposed to make is supposed to go to some philanthropic, there's some delusional philanthropic. He could have spent that on charity. It's like,
Nah, nigga.
or you could go get some, and then you do it. You know what I'm saying? So
Facts.
it's crazy.
So what do you feel, or what do you want people to get from this book once they're done reading the final chapter?
Yeah, that's a good question. So this book is not just a start to finish. It's laid out to the point where you can always refer to it. In the back, there's a old school glossary appendix with terms and definitions. So basically, it's a guide to just continuously help you.
Similar to what they did with when the computers first came out. You know, the books they had for dummies. Similar to
Oh
that?
yeah. That's funny. I remember that. I had my gateway, but you know what I'm saying. I won my first gateway in the drawing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I won my first gateway. I was mad excited. And
Yo, gateways was the shit.
yeah, it had the cow print on the box. But yeah, so this book is just a continuous guide to help your efforts and make a personal connection, to make a cultural connection, to make a psychological connection, and just be informed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I approach it, a lot of times people approach things as being a know-it-all. I'm not a know-it-all. I'm a know-enough. You know what I'm saying? And when you know enough, you can maintain and you can scale. But only a fool knows everything. You dig?
Yeah.
That's why, only a fool is fearless.
Right.
I be knowing when stuff gets weird, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying?
You read the room.
If I go to my car and it's three, masked men,
Right.
I'm not fearless, bro. I'm out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or it's reggaeton music. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But point is, we on point. You know what I'm saying? Nah. But,
You got the Pataleo.
yeah.
You got the Pacha.
That's hilarious.
Yo, you funny, bro.
Shout out to my Ricans.
Oh yeah, but you got it. I mean me, but you got it too.
Yeah.
You got it differently.
I'm not
but
Rican,
but you still got it.
Yeah.
You Caribbean.
Yeah. Shout out to all my Caribbean. Shout out to all my Venezuelans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's
I
a
know your
fact.
roots. Your pop, right?
Yeah, it's a fact. It's a fact. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this boy, man. So before we go, I do want to talk about Drake and Kendrick because
Okay.
you was wilding in the DMs.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
let me
yeah.
ask you before we get to this, I do want to say this is a disclaimer. The part that I don't like, I don't feel that he should sue him for defamation because that'd be like Ja Rule suing 50 Cent when he had him on the ropes.
Bingo. Okay.
But from a business standpoint, if UMG undercut him and backdoored him and they lowered the price for Kendrick, I think he should get his bread, even though he's a $500 million man. But I think it's bigger than that. I think it's because he wants to renew his contract elsewhere, or they're not giving the money he wants. That's why where we're at. What's your thoughts?
I don't know the details of his deal, so
Right.
I can only say but so much.
Right.
I don't care if he had $2 billion and they owed him $1. You're deserving of whatever is owed to you.
Right.
I think the timing was probably not the best.
Yeah, the timing definitely.
Because now it
wasn't.
seems like it's directly because you feel like you lost the fade. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel like, and this is just from the outside looking in, I feel like this is Drake's first time maybe being against the ropes.
Yeah.
Because when Meek, there's no way they didn't do that to Meek. I'm watching people on ESPN make jokes about Meek.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And Meek, no matter what the internet says, Meek has always been thorough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, especially, we from PA. We know Meek since 2004.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This internet cannot, you know what I'm saying, cannot change this. Cannot erase history. You know what I'm saying? So,
for sure. I agree.
But I think maybe the error in the delivery of the lawsuit was the timing and the fact that it's like Drake. Have Birdman do it or something. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Have Bird do it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out my nigga Beatrice. You know what I'm saying? Have Bird, have Slim do it. You know what I'm saying? But with Drake on it, and Drake already has maybe not the best image as far as being sturdy.
Yeah.
It's it's just another flaw.
Right.
And it's like, come on, Drizzy.
Right, yeah.
But You know, I don't know, man. But we, as far as payola, I worked in music. I've paid for songs to get played.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've paid for video placement. Yeah, almost everybody does. And if you didn't, you lucked up, or you didn't know somebody on your team did it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The fact is, they'll tell you, oh, it costs such and such a service a record. What do you think that is? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no overnight success. There's a budget.
Yeah.
But the thing is, these people, they don't see it.
Right.
So they think, oh, man, he just had this on TikTok. No, there's a budget.
Right.
There's connections.
Since
People made it go viral. Exactly.
Yeah.
They made it go viral. For instance, there was a point where I felt like there were certain radio shows that were pushing Atlantic artists. You know what I'm saying? I felt like everybody was pushing Cardi in 1 second. Not saying it's wrong, but that's what it was.
Right.
Like a month ago, Sexy Red put out something.
Nicki Minaj talked about that.
Yeah. I'm not going to say what show, but there, like a month or two ago, I'm on my timeline and I see Sexy Red drops the most ratchet video. Then I keep scrolling. Like 6 different blogs said the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Even with the Diddy situation, opinions aside of what's happening, there's a marketing budget behind his demise. You know what I'm saying? When I'm
And that's fucked up.
I've been on Facebook Marketplace. I be looking at bicycles and Pelotons, and all of a sudden it'll be like, hey, were you violated by Diddy? I'm like, and this is a sponsored post. This is marketing dollars.
Right.
So I'm not caping for his innocence. I'm just saying it's obvious when there's marketing dollars behind something.
Well, speaking of that, do you think it was marketing dollars behind the demise of Drake and the Kendrick situation? I do.
Probably.
Okay.
I mean, it's not unheard of.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the song was what it was. You know what I'm saying? You can enhance it, but it still was what it was. Like, you know what I'm saying? But you got the Amazon concert. I don't know if that was already in effect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But I don't know, man. But everything is marketing. You know what I'm saying? Everything. You know what I'm saying? Everything's marketing.
Right.
And it could be for the better or for the you know what I'm saying?
Demise.
Exactly. It could be a superpower, or it could be like you could be a super villain with it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times people know, like, they're pushing narratives. Mm-hmm. Like, every time you have an opinion about something, typically it's based off of what you heard.
That's
because
facts.
we don't know none of these people.
Nope.
But we just gather like a little cumulative information
from social media. Oh yeah,
isn't such and such a weirdo, and you know these infamous lists that never really are out, and all these little things, and it's like there's no like tangible, credible evidence for a lot of this stuff. But
except for Do Film Podcast.
Yeah, but yeah, you're not known to push.
I don't push the dumb shit on none of my platforms. If you notice, since you know me,
yeah. I never see negativity. I do see
positivity.
But OVO side of things, I didn't know if this was sponsored by OVO. Say that. I wanted to bring an OVO shirt for you. You know what I'm saying? I was like, OVO bugs. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I was like, nah, come on, man. And I'm a Cash Money fan for life.
Right.
You dig? Birdman, I don't allow any Birdman slander anywhere near around me. Shout out to B.
So do you think he did it bigger than Jay? As far as the executive?
I'll say
just music. Not all the other shit Jay said later.
Just music.
Just Rockefeller Records by itself.
I'm gonna say if we're taking Rockefeller Records versus Cash Money wins.
Really?
Yes. Only because Cash Money it's been him and his brother since the early 90s.
Right. And he's still...
Exactly. Because a lot of people don't know, you got Birdman, who used to be B32. He had an album called I Got a Bag of Dope in like 92 or something.
Yeah.
Then you got the BG's album.
Right.
BG True Story.
Right.
All the way to 2024, he's still a platinum. You dig? And he's only done it with music. Birdman don't really do... No movies. Yeah, I mean, he had the lugs and like there was a liquor deal at one point. But Hove, in the sense of everything else, Hove is... He's the top of the top of the mountain. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's only one Hove. You know what I'm saying? But I do think 50 is somebody who's like a marketing genius.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think 50.
And I think his story played out better
than
Diddy and Hove, me personally.
Than Hove?
Yeah.
Why?
Because, listen, the reason why I say that is because even though we don't know none of those things to be true, there's never been... No, listen. There's never been what story have you heard about 50 besides him getting stabbed up and Sony? What other bad stuff have you heard about 50 that look crazy? That sound crazy.
I don't like to give life to it, but there have been rumors said by people that I don't believe. You know, the woman that goes around saying all the stuff online. Yeah. She has a story about 50, but I don't think it's true. But most of the stuff about Hove is rooted in and hate, or what Hov say, it's not about what I did to people, it's about what I didn't do for people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hov didn't sign children. He signed a bunch of grown men. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know any kid acts he had. But I like 50's trajectory. He knew people weren't consuming the music.
Right.
He jumped to TV. Or he jumped to movies. So and he's a legacy act. So he didn't fall off.
Right. He
just pivoted. And you're supposed to. Nobody expects you to be number one for 30 years.
Right.
Only in hip hop do they put that on you.
Yeah.
You know, because people hate old rappers. I have a video about that.
So you would say Jay and then 50, as far as how the trajectory in their story, how it all played out from beginning to end.
Business wise?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would take business wise Hov, but like somebody like me, like I'll see somebody like Ja Rule who lives with his mom, his wife, his kids. I'm taking that. You know what I'm saying? I'll take that with some millions over no marriage and maybe a fractured relationship with extra money. You dig?
Okay,
So
I see what you're saying.
if we just talking business, yeah.
But we talking overall life, you taking Ja Rule.
Over 50. Because he got his family. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. You know what I'm saying? It gotta hold some weight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm a fan of Fifth though. You know what I'm saying? Like this nigga flew out post this and ruin me. Nah, but
I understand. I get it. I mean, you got your queen here, and you got a son. So
yeah, exactly.
It gotta be tangible from the family's perspective and the business perspective.
Yeah, I think that we need to emphasize family structure a little bit more.
In the black community.
100%. I'm part of, like, there's so much violence out here in our community. Most people are not violent. Most people are not criminals, but the element does exist. Mm-hmm. But if 85% of our homes in whatever we call the hood had fathers in it, the violence would probably almost disappear.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I mean, like, quality dads, you dig?
Yeah, like me and you.
Yeah, exactly. And I ain't grow up with my pops, you dig?
Neither did I.
Yeah, see, you know what I'm saying?
But that's what made me want to take it to the next level because of the absence of my father.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? But
I was like, ain't no way my son gonna be a bastard or my son ain't gonna have his. Ain't no way.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And my daughter. So
yeah, that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so that part,
I think that's the best part of my life.
It probably is. You know what I'm saying? It's the best part of mine. The family. You know what I'm saying? Because if everything fails,
I still got my family.
I know they still gonna show me love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not based on what I can do. It's just who I am. And if you honorable to your family, you good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's only two things that I feel like could really ruin a man's reputation. I'm not gonna say it on camera, but you know what I'm saying? It's only two accusations or two truths. You know what I'm saying?
That can ruin. But you're not gonna say it on camera.
Well, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to offend anybody.
You gonna send it? You gonna tell me?
Yeah, I'll tell you. But if you got your family, you invincible. You dig?
Yeah.
So
facts.
it's like, so I just think, like, when we talk overall success, like, we got to start putting that in there too. Mm-hmm. And even I'm a co-parent, but like, I don't push that because it's like, you know what I'm saying? I tell my son, I made it work, but go get a wife, my dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and protect your seed.
Right.
Don't be a bum out here having 25 kids, dog. That's some bummish.
Yeah.
Care how much money you got.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, what the F is humanbase.com, Josiah.martin.com.
Yeah, let them
it's
know,
a free ebook.
Okay.
So I designed it to be free. You know what I'm saying? Because I have another book coming out.
Damn.
And it's a real dope concept. It's a whole paradigm shift in the marketing world. But the hard copies are on Amazon.
Yeah. Get this book, man. Get this book, bro.
Yeah. This should be a valuable.
This should be like the source was to hip hop. This should be. And this should be right on your nightstand.
This like the Bible.
Right.
But the marketing Bible.
But that's what I'm saying. The Source magazine was a holy Bible for hip hop.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Dave Mays and Benzino.
A lot of people's getting their jewelry from the back of the magazine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you had them lugs ads too in the back. Birdman was on the back.
I wanted those at the time. At the time, I was like 10.
Oh, you was young.
I was like 10.
Yeah, I ain't want them joints. You want it because of Birdman.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
I was influenced by it. That's why we can't deny the influence of music. It's marketing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like when people
But I feel like the influencers are just as influenced as artists nowadays. The influence online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in what way?
I mean, they're getting checks to do certain shit.
Yeah.
To throw their little whatever that business wants them to throw up for that dollar.
Yeah, and
as long as they got like 1 million followers,
right,
it's going down.
And the thing is now, like the more organic it looks, is the more a lot of times the more receptive people are to it.
That's
so
true.
So if somebody,
and I think it depends on who's doing it.
That's 100%.
Like if you get someone from Power, like a Tariq, to say, because he's Jamaican. So if he goes to a Jamaican restaurant and say X, Y, and Z, you're going to have people going to that shit just because he said
so
it.
I didn't even know that. I thought you was going to say like Vibes Cartel or something. But like people, it's like, I'll give like, all right, let's say I have a shirt and I say, yo, can you post this on your story? I want people to support it.
Yeah, you did it. Remember?
Yeah, okay, I probably did.
The BGs.
Oh, yeah, yep.
When you came the second time.
Superjones.com.
Yeah.
So if you post it.
Episode 76.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you post it and say, hey, go support my guy, you're probably getting nothing. You know what I'm saying? But if you just post it and it seems more organic and you're not directly trying to push it, you more likely get more. Like,
Ain't that crazy?
Yeah, we live.
But that's the way that's the way the human mind works.
And American culture is very rebellious. Don't tell us what to do. You dig? We'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I had somebody. I read a comment. They were saying when you're building a page and a platform, should you pick your niche before you start your page, or do you do it along the way? And you could pick your niche first and just post a bunch of sports stuff.
Right.
Then you get relevant people that like sports. Then you could do product placement based around your audience that you've built.
Right.
Or you could throw a lot of stuff at the wall and see what sticks. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I say that to say is like, dang, I lost my train of thought. But what I was saying is like, when you're building stuff and you're building that trust, people are gonna take your word for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if your content is based around one thing, it's like, okay, the expectation is you know what you're talking about.
Right.
If you post a lot about restaurants, the automatic expectation from the average person is you know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? And that's the dangerous part of right now is because if you can answer the questions, you can be what you want to be. If I go take a picture in front of two white 18-wheelers and I put out a book and say, hey, this is how you do trucking, there's a huge amount of people that are just going to assume I know what I'm talking about. So that's the dangerous part of the internet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because sometimes they don't know what they're talking about.
But you got to learn people's...
And that's why I like going back and forth on social media and just on my podcast about hip hop, because a lot of times these people don't know what they're talking about.
Right, true.
And I told you I'm a hip hop walking encyclopedia.
And people base what they do off feelings, not always logic.
Yeah.
So for instance, a lot of places go. I forget what city in Australia it was. They learned that when they had the traffic signs saying slow down, 25 miles per hour, they didn't get many people slowing down. They switched the sign to just a smiley face, and it said 25 miles per hour, and people started slowing down. Logically, it's no different.
Right, but that smiley face.
And emotionally, you're not telling people what to do. You're just suggesting it. So now people change.
Right.
You know, there was an experiment in California where a control group drank wine, 2 glasses of wine, same bottle, but one was told to them to be an expensive bottle, and one was told to be cheap. They actually did a neural study, and when they drank what they thought was the more expensive wine, they actually had more dopamine in the frontal lobe. They had more enjoyment. It's because they thought it.
Right.
It's not logic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's the taste is the same, but your mind is telling you something different. That's you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know what I mean? It's just logic and feelings. A lot of stuff is based on feelings. Like I have a video on what they call the ultimatum game. And did you see that? Yeah,
I think I did.
So want me to explain this? But
I mean, it's up to you. You can.
The ultimatum game, basically, I have 2 people. I'll give the person A $100,
right,
and person B, and they have to agree to split it. Whatever they agree on, whether it's 50-50 split, 70-30 split, whatever you agree on, you keep it.
Right.
If person A says, hey, I'll give you $1, the person B, logic would say that you take the deal, because before this you had no money, so even $1 is profit.
Facts.
But oftentimes people aren't going to say yes because they don't want you what they feel is unfair. Why do you get $99?
Right.
What does it matter? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You weren't getting nothing beforehand, but you'd rather us both get nothing than you walk away with less. Even though logic says even $1 is $1.
Right.
So it's just this continuous pattern of feelings based. Yeah. So that's why with human base, you understand the psychology and the emotions and, like I said, the generational insights and the cultural connections, because it just allows you to understand so much about how people think and how they operate. So your marketing isn't completely sales based. A lot of times people erroneously think a return of investment is simply sales based and direct sales. Your return of investment can be brand awareness,
Right.
confidence for the person that is running the business, confidence for the buyer.
Right.
You know, so many different things. You know,
Yeah.
waste management, meaning
Right.
time management. You know, resource management. So
There's so much that go into it.
exactly. So you know, Josiah
I
DonMartin.com.
appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you, man.
And tell them how they can follow you. Tell them how they can get the book.
Yeah.
Put your plug in, man.
JosiahDonMartin.com. WTF is humanbase.com. Runtheviews.com. I know it's a lot, but really, if you want the book, WTF is humanbase.com. JosiahDonMartin.com. It always goes to the book link. You can find me on Instagram at unemployed. You know what I'm saying? No pun intended.
Right.
And follow Independent Dope, man.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, shout out to my son Isaiah.
Shout out to Isaiah, man. This is your boy Bugsy. Keep it hip hop. Peace.